G'day ladies and germs, Conor here from C-Dubs Media, back with another video. And today we're doing two phones in one. That's right, two phones in one. We've got the Oppo Reno12 Pro and the Oppo Reno12. What's the difference, you might ask? Well, let's find out in this video. Let's go. Very similar in size, very similar in specs. Probably the main key differences here is going to be in the cameras. And I'll get to that shortly. But for the most part, they're almost twins. You say like twins, but this one was born first. Now, I must say some very respectable specs among both of these phones. Now, you look at some of these specs on other competitors and you're looking at a $2,000 phone in Australia. But here, the Oppo Reno12 Pro is coming in at $1,000 and the Oppo Reno12 is coming in at $800. That's before any specials or anything like that. Now, I did also see recently a bit of a deal where you got the Oppo Neo Pad valued at 450 Aussie dollars if you bought the Oppo Reno12 Pro. So some big deals going on here. And if you're just looking for specs, you want good value for money, then Oppo is definitely the best value for money when it comes to the Oppo Reno series. Now, these both come with 12 gigabytes of RAM. They both come with the same chipset, which is the MediaTek 7300 Dimensity or something like that. I'll put it up here on the video for you to see. 8 gigs of RAM on the 256 gigabyte version of the Oppo Reno12, but you can also get 12 gigabyte version. And then when you go up in storage size to 512, the Reno12 comes in 12 gigabytes of RAM. Oppo Reno12 Pro, 12 gigabytes of RAM, no matter what variant you choose. And I've got to say, the day-to-day performance on both of these was amazing. And what I actually did, I set these phones up with my usual apps, everyday apps, and I used them without looking at the specs. I didn't look at any videos on these devices. I didn't read the specs once. I didn't look at Oppo's website. And I didn't look at the promo content that was sent to me, as these devices are review products and they do have to be sent back. I never get the keepers. I didn't feel like I was missing anything at all. Really smooth, really responsive, apps open as they should. Gaming was a breeze on both of them. I really didn't notice a difference. And even the displays are very similar as well across both of these phones. You have a 6.7-inch display on both of them, both coming in at 1080 by 2140. So the nits as well, so you've got 600 nits of brightness and then peak brightness settings of 1200 on both of these. And in fact, the only difference I could see in the devices when it comes to the display is the 12 Pro is 0.7 of a millimeter bigger. So really no difference at all. So when watching content or gaming, they really looked quite nice and they had some good color ranges on them. And I was pleasantly surprised and I enjoyed using them for content consumption. And you can see from this video, the gaming experience was fine. This is Asphalt 9 and both of them held their own. No lag, easy gameplay, good fun. I liked it. Also coming in nicely and exactly the same as well is the battery. So you've both got 5,000 milliamp hour of battery in both of these. They both come with the same Super VOOC charging settings as well. So you're going to get I think it's like a full charge in 1 hour or even less than an hour. And I was definitely getting a full day's use out of these. Now, I will say, I did also review the Oppo Watch X and I paired it with the Reno12 Pro. And the experience was seamless, much better than using a Pixel phone and a Pixel watch. That Pixel watch is a piece of crap. But the Oppo Watch X is a great product and pairing it with another Oppo product really did take the cake. But you can watch that Watch X video here. I'll link to it here. And actually these are both IP65 dust and water resistant. So for me, that means I can do my exercise out in the rain, whether I'm cycling or running. No issues whatsoever. I don't even have to worry about it. My phone's going to be tucked in my running belt or my cycling belt. Even if I get wet, the phone will survive. So that was a nice experience as well. Again, $800 and $1,000. So that's like, if you're not from Australia, this is like half price compared to say a Samsung phone or an Apple phone. Half price. I also want to talk about the fingerprint sensor and face unlock. I was actually surprised by both of these because they really performed really, really well. Much quicker than, say, an Apple phone or a Pixel phone. I've used both of those, and I use both of those on a daily basis. And the Oppo Reno12 and 12 Pro definitely have better unlocking experiences than either of those two competitors. Very fast, very accurate most of the time. Now, I will say that Oppo does have its new AI versions in these phones, but I actually don't use AI a lot, so I really don't want to comment too much on that. I think AI is, in its very early days, is really not that impressive no matter who's doing it. So I really don't want to comment too much on that, my experience there. Now, I just want to mention the color of the devices. So on the Oppo Reno12, you have brown, pink, and silver. This is the silver color. I think it looks fine. And then on the 12 Pro, you have brown, black, and silver. And this is the black variant, obviously. Actually, another difference with the display that I didn't mention earlier, you have Gorilla Glass Victus 2 on the 12 Pro, and then Gorilla Glass 7i or something on the 12. So a little bit of a difference there. The 12 Pro is going to be slightly stronger, but again, there's a $200 price difference here, so you can choose if you want to upgrade or not. And they are AMOLED displays, curved, and the frames are plastic and the back is plastic as well. So you're getting a very similar build quality all around as well. Now, they both come with Android 14, ColorOS 14.1. For me, a great software experience, and that goes hand in hand with the hardware. So you're going to get nice, smooth experience. You do have a 120 Hz refresh rate, so you get that buttery smooth feeling. Now, I did turn it on and off, and I did notice a difference. I definitely noticed it, and I left it on 120 Hz at all times. Now, with the software, you do get that typical Oppo software, and you have the Oppo store where you can go in and download different themes for your device and set it up so it looks very unique to you. So you can see from the images on display that you really can customize it as you see fit. Okay, I think I should talk about the cameras now. On both of these, you have the main camera is a 50 megapixel camera. That's the wide angle camera. They both do an amazing job. They have that beauty mode turned on, much like an iPhone, beauty mode overkill, and you have that here on the Oppo phones as well. You can turn it off or you can minimize it so that you don't look quite so much like you're wearing makeup, but I know some of you will enjoy that. For me, I like to turn it off. Just a natural photo will do, but it is here. Okay, then the secondary shooter or the ultra wide angle, they are both 8 megapixel lenses, both the same one again on both devices, and they do a really good job as well. Very wide angle, mind you. And then we have a 2 megapixel macro on the Oppo Reno12, and then a 50 megapixel telephoto on the 12 Pro. So that's where the big difference is there on the cameras. 50 megapixel telephoto, that's the big difference. I would say that that is the main point of difference between these two devices. A bit like the Pixel 8 Pro and the Pixel 8. The main point of difference there, again, is the telephoto. Now, for me, it's not a big deal. I could quite easily just use the 12 and be just as happy. I can take a photo and crop in. Because it's a phone photo, it really doesn't matter too much for me. But for you, it might be very important. Then you can drop a few extra bucks, get the 12 Pro, and you'll be very, very happy. Now, there are some of the AI experiences in the photography as well. So that AI beauty mode, which I mentioned, where it makes you look like you're wearing makeup. But also you can take what they call the best photo as well. That is here in the Oppo devices. So not everyone might be smiling in the photo, and you can actually choose the best photo where everyone is smiling and actually replace faces. Pretty weird, but you can do it. And again, I don't think it's important for this level of photography that you can do that. It's actually more of a feature. I really like it. Now, as for the video, they both shoot 4K on the rear and front-facing cameras, but the 12 Pro has a 50 megapixel front-facing camera, whereas the 12 has a 30 megapixel front-facing camera. I will let you judge the results of the video, but I'll just say you can do 4K 30, you can do 1080p 60 and 1080p 30, and then on the front you can also do 4K 30 and 1080p 30. So over to me walking outside doing video mode.
Okay, as with all Oppo devices, when you hit the stabilization icon, you go from 4K 30 to 1080p 60, and that happens automatically. So you lose the detail of the 4K, which is over sharpened anyway, and then you get cropped in. It looks pretty good. This is as good as it's going to get in terms of lighting, because this is the morning golden hour, so it's very complimentary. I would say this is probably the best light you're going to get. It's very soft, but very adequate. There's the train. So, 1080p 60 stabilization. Oppo Reno12 Pro 5G. Alright, now this is the front-facing camera, 4K 30. Again, no stabilization turned on, just standard 4K 30. It's definitely different to the rear facing, but again, it's almost like golden hour. Okay, so it's about 6:30 a.m. The sun's just about to come up, and this is 4K 30, so pretty good lighting. It's sort of like golden hour, but in the morning. It's 4K 30. Tell me what you think of the stabilization. I'm just walking normally. I'm not pretending to walk slow like a ninja. Tell me what you think. 1080p 60 frames per second, rear facing camera, Oppo Reno12. The reason it's 1080p is because the stabilization is on. If the stabilization is on, you can't do 4K, which is pretty standard for Oppo. Now this is the rear facing camera on the Oppo Reno12, 4K 30 frames per second. No stabilization. And the lighting is generous because it's a very cloudy day. And this is the front-facing camera on the Oppo Reno12 with stabilization on, which drops it back to 1080p. Okay, ladies and germs, this is the Oppo Reno12 4K front-facing camera, no stabilization, so it just looks pretty shaky.
So overall, I am going to say that both of these phones are a win. $800, $1,000, that's without any discounts. When the discounts kick, they're even more value. Like I said, you could also get the Oppo Pad Neo or whatever it is when you get the Reno 12 Pro for a limited time. So I would get them. I would definitely get them. And if you're also looking for the smartwatch companion, then the Oppo Watch X goes brilliantly with both of these. So really impressive. Oppo Reno series has been kicking it for a long time. Obviously, we're up to number 12 now. So they really have been impressive all along. And I think now, even though smartphones are becoming very boring, they're almost like part of our body these days. It's hard to differentiate between a lot of them. But I still think these Reno 12 series hold a lot of value and some really impressive results, whether it's performance, hardware, software, cameras, battery life. They really do offer a lot. So anyway, unfortunately, I got to send these back. I do not get to keep them. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, all that sort of shit. I appreciate your eyeballs on the video, and I'll catch you in the next video. Check ya.